Back in another video. Thought I'd just show these. I picked up a whole set of these build your own automotive plug wire, the whole kit. It comes with a whole bunch of them in this. Well, it's a cheap one, but it works fine. You know, wire, quick release plugs, whatever you want to call them, kit. So been doing a little bit of wiring and work on this and the harness for the gremlin. Obviously I'm just using the motor as the mock-up because it'd be nice to get all that cleaned up and get some quick releases for the transmission wiring harness, because I made a mess of it getting it out of the car. And it'd be better if that could just stay with the transmission when I'm pulling these motors. But anyways, I know that's not why you're watching this video. We're not making another gremlin video. That's right, we're going to work on these a little bit. And if you've already watched the second real quick video I made of the Polaris, and you already heard that we were going to be working on some new projects. Well, here they are. Like I said, Polaris, if you didn't watch that, after I got the carburetor on it, which it did run fine and everything, it just was missing way too much, and I couldn't get purple fenders like I stated. If I couldn't get purple fenders, I said I was going to get rid of it. And somebody came and paid a couple bucks for it, not very much because I didn't get it for anything, but I got my carburetor money and stuff back out of it and blah blah blah. But I couldn't pass up these two machines. First off, Yamaha BWs, you know, are very fun to ride if you've never ridden one. They're really practical, they're comfortable, they're low to the ground. I'm not super tall, but you know, I'm 5'10", and super easy bikes to get on. My wife had one for quite a while. It wasn't an electric start one, but she had a BW 200 she first learned how to ride on, and we had a lot of fun with that one, but really hard to come by two BWs. And these two came from the exact same fellow, and all he can remember, older guy, is that they were parked back in 1997. The winter of 97 was the last time either of these were run, and he said he's sure he parked them because there was something wrong with them. He doesn't remember. He just knows that, you know, he quit riding them, and they sat in his, I wouldn't say enclosed barn, but it sat in a barn. They still got some weather on them. And I did just a little bit of cleaning on them, and they definitely got some grime and crud on them. I cleaned a little bit on this one here, and you know, covered in mildew and everything else. So they're gonna need a good scrubbing. I actually scrubbed that side down really good. It's not perfect, I gotta finish it, but it looked like this one here, all mildewy and gross. But I think the plastics are gonna come out really good. Gas tanks are, you know, they're only gonna come out so well because they're yellowed from gas and everything in them. But neither one of these bikes are locked up. They both kick over, and they both seem like they got compression. This one's an 87 electric start, so I don't know if all of them that had electric start had gold wheels, or if that was just an 87 option, but this one's an 87, so obviously got both racks on it, and the electric start or kickstart version, and it's actually got an ignition switch and all that good stuff on it. This one here is an 85, and this is exactly the same bike my wife used to have. Just no electric start, just kickstart only. And, you know, not that it matters, but it just had silver wheels on it. But these bikes are 100% complete. They're not missing anything. In fact, the battery is sitting over there that was in there. It's frozen like an ice cube, but even the battery was still lit. The seats are sitting over there by the AMX for it. You know, not missing anything. So They're a little bit beat up, but they're all there. I think I gotta find pegs for this one. I don't believe those are the right pegs. The ones on that bike are the right pegs, but they need 2 rear tires. The rear tires won't hold any air. They're so rotted and bad. The front tires both hold air, but probably just get front tires for it. Got to get hand grips for them. I've kind of already gone through both of them to see what's just broken or deteriorated on them. They both need air filter elements, which I can get those on Rocky Mountain ATV. And grips, I can actually get the brand new factory BW levers for these bikes. And I can actually get the correct rear rack and front rack for that one if I really wanted to. I think this one's a homemade rack. It's definitely not bolted up like these racks would be on them and all that good stuff. But that one there is missing the rear chain guard, or it's not missing, it's actually broken. I took it off to try to oil up the chain because this one here, it was locked up. The rear chain was locked up, it wouldn't even roll, but I got it on a jack stand, greased it up, and finally got it rolling, just the tires flat on it. It'll hold air for a few minutes, but nothing great. And like I stated on Facebook and stuff, I just need a break from messing with these cars. Been messing with them weeks on end, and I just need to go to something simple where I don't have to do a whole lot. And neither one of the carburetors are stuck on these, but they'll obviously have to get pulled off and cleaned. But I think we'll start on that bike there, because I did put the jumper pack on this bike, or the battery charger, and it gets no power to the key or any power anywhere, but I can jump it to the solenoid and it will turn over the engine. So this one here, I'll have to chase the wires. It's probably just a ground or dirty connections, but that one there kicks over a lot smoother and feels like it's got a little bit more compression, and carburetor feels a little bit smoother. So, and the plastics, I've already kind of started on them a little bit. So I think that's going to be the bike we'll start on and get it running, and then we'll come over to this one. I need to get a battery. I called around, nobody's got a battery. Supposedly these take the same battery as a Yamaha TW, which a Yamaha TW and a Yamaha BW had their own battery. Apparently it's not a universal fit battery with a bunch of bikes. So gotta get a battery for it, and then I'd like to order some more parts, so when I get to that one I can do the rear tire and just get everything done on that one. I wouldn't say that one's worth more money than this one, or this one's worth more money than that one. It just, I want to make sure that one's really nice, because that'll be the one the wife's probably going to ride, if any of them, because it's got electric start. And the other thing about this one, I'm pretty sure that little oil glass is broken out of that or missing. I don't know why there's so much oil on that side, and I'm assuming the fork seal is blown on this side, but I don't know. And maybe there's something actually wrong with the engine on that one, and that's why I quit riding it. But this one here seems to be fine. I didn't take any of these loose. I don't know why these were loose, but both of those were loose, so maybe there's something wrong with the timing chain on that one. I don't know. But anyways, I'll quit rambling on about them, and we'll get this one on a stand. I'm going to get the plastics torn off of it, and we'll get the carburetor off and take a look at that, and I'll shove this one back in the back for now. Alright, get the carburetor off. It's actually sitting in the carburetor cleaner over there. It's actually pretty clean. It's just really sticky, if that makes sense. But get that all cleaned up, and I took some needles and the little pokey things and cleaned out the jet, so they'll be nice and at least clean, hopefully not all gummed up again when I get them out of the chem dip there. But And I had already mentioned I pulled the air cleaner or cover off, and the filament was all rotted away anyway, so I vacuumed that out and drained the oil, and that's what came out of it. Pretty nasty. So we'll have to get some oil in it for sure. And it does have a little screen, but it'll got some trash in it. So I'll have to flush that out some. And then I noticed the sight glass on the other side is completely plugged up, covered, whatever. You can't actually see through it. So I'm going to have to pull the other side of the case off and clean that. Now, one other interesting thing I found on this bike is, in my opinion, it's really rare that you even have your overflow lines on the carburetor, but I have a feeling this bike was never really messed with too much, because these lines are actually still kind of soft and they were all on it and all perfect, but of course getting the carburetor off, this little T shattered. But I don't know if this bike's ever been taken apart. I'm assuming that maybe they were going to do a valve adjustment on it, and that's why they took these plugs out. I mean, that's what I would guess. But I don't know that for 100% sure. And here's a better look at those pegs. Somebody's done welded a bolt to get them to stay straight, I guess. I don't know, they're kind of bent. But I'll definitely have to probably find some pegs for it. So, anyways, it'll probably be tomorrow before I get back to the carburetor. I'm going to let it soak in there, but like I said, it really wasn't too dirty. I just kind of cleaned it. It just had more of a sticky gum on it. Oops. See if you can see that. But I get that all cleaned up too. I just didn't want to ruin the O-ring on it. So, but I'll have to get after this one again tomorrow. But like I said, that sight glass, I might have cleaned up some. I don't know. I'm still going to take that cover off because I'm going to get the oil filter out. I did get 2 oil filters, so I don't know if they'll be here for sure tomorrow or not, but I do need to get that off and get the oil filter out and probably inspect inside there anyways. Clutch feels fine, moves okay, but we'll check it out. So, but we'll continue this video tomorrow. Alright, well obviously it's the next day, and I'll have to say the carburetor came out pretty good. I let it just sit in the Kim dip or carburetor cleaner overnight, and just got done hosing it down with some brake clean and stuff and getting some things assembled in here. But I think the carburetor is going to work pretty good now, so I'll get this slapped together and we'll get it on the bike and take a look and see what we can do about some oil. Alright, I got the carb back on, and I got to get some oil in it before we can try to start it, but I guess I can't actually see inside of that thing. So I think the best thing to do is just pull the side cover off real quick. Need to open up the oil filter. We didn't get our new oil filters in, so just have to spray that one out. I don't know. But, so yeah, gotta get this apart. It's got the little decompression thingy on it, and a whole bunch of Phillips head screws. But I think the first thing I'll do is pull that oil filter out and take the Kickstarter off and just have it go from there and see what's going on. I mean, I don't know. I really wish I didn't have to pull it off, but I mean, if that thing's that dirty, I probably should look and see what's inside there. You know, I don't think that I kickstart this thing enough to send all that watery oil up there, but maybe it's possible. I just didn't think I could have kicked it that much, but imagine that, it's full of this really watered mixture oil in there, so I'll get that cleaned out. The oil filter doesn't look too bad. It's got some trash in it, but we'll just have to spray him out too and hope for the best on that. But I think I'm gonna get this cover pulled off. It's too much grossness inside here for me to justify just putting it together and trying to start it. So I'd rather not break this engine, or if there is something broken, I'd like to find it before I break it even more. So I guess I'll tear all this off and bring you back when we get the side cover off. Alright, I don't know if I needed to take that little compression thing off right here or not, but went ahead and did that. 212 millimeters hold that peg and brake pedal on. I could have probably got this off without taking that off, but you know, may as well try to make life easy. So, but got all them screws out of there, so I will pry that bad boy off. Hopefully I don't destroy the gasket. And I don't think a Phillips screwdriver is the best pry tool, so let me get a pry tool and see if I can get this busted. Well, I did grab a proper pry tool, but I couldn't get it loose. I ended up actually having to use my Phillips screwdriver right here. There's kind of a tab that sticks up. I went onto the other side of the bike, and that's obviously a pry point or something. Just tapped it off with the screwdriver, but I guess let's see if I can do this one-handed. I don't know if I can, but so far it doesn't look too terrible. Let me set you down for a second. Alright. Pretty clean in there. I don't know what's wrong with that little glass. Probably just dirty. Ooh, some more chunkies. So, oh, that's actually some water, it looks like right there. I don't know what that is. Alright, well, we'll get that all cleaned out. Oops. Anything to fall off here. Put that back. But, yeah, it looks like taking off that cable was a necessity, so. Alright, looks like the gasket's still intact. And I'm willing to wager a bet that this is the factory gasket. And this bike has never been taken apart. But I doubt it'd be ever possible to figure that one out. A little bit of surface rust on there. Alright, well let me get this all cleaned up and get that eyelet cleaned and get this back on so we can get some oil in it, and then we'll check for spark and then we'll see if it'll start. Alright, well I got that all put back together. It's hard to see, but you can actually see in there. You know, it almost reminds me that it has hard water buildup on the back side of that glass. I had to actually get in there with a Q-tip and scratch it out of there. It was really hard stuff, but I didn't have any CLR or lightning to prove my hard water theory, because obviously there's been water inside of here. But cleaned out the filter the best I could. Got everything put back together, and I noticed that even the plastic thing and the end of the Kickstarter is still there, so there's a good chance this bike's never even been torn into, which would be cool. But I'm not an expert on these, but I've owned a TW as well, and I'm willing to say that this is probably the same exact engine a TW has as well. So With that being said, I've seen a couple new TWs that have been salvaged out, and I'm pretty sure that they're still exactly the same engines because I know they're air-cooled. I think the carburetors are a little bit different these days, but I still think they're indeed carbureted. I don't think they're even fuel injection yet, but they could be. I don't know. But anyways, my point is if I ever come across a wrecked TW, I might pull the motor and stick in one of these just to have an updated engine. But alright, well anyways, I'm going to get some oil in here, get it filled up to the right level, and get that air box secured so it's not on the exhaust, just in case it does start, and we'll check for some spark. Well, the plug was a little bit more nasty than it is now. I sprayed her down and cleaned her up a little bit just to see if we can get spark. Good news is I didn't even bother to, don't know why, I got excited and poured, you know, a couple cups worth of gas in there. Didn't even like say, oh wait a minute, is the gas tank any good? And then turned on the petcock, and sure enough, gas is flowing right out of it. So put a fuel line and a filter back on there and turned it on, and carburetor filled up and hasn't overflown, and it quit putting gas in after a bit, so that's good. So it looks like the carburetor's working. So let's see if we've got any spark here. See if I can get electrocuted, 'cause that's always fun. Obviously, I'm not very good at holding the camera to begin with, so it's definitely got a spark. I'm assuming you can see that. Now the next question is, should I put a compressor tester on it before, or should I just try to start it? You know, I'm pretty excited. I'm just going to try to start it. We'll check compression if it doesn't start, or we'll check it after if it does start and run after and see what it has. But let me get the plug back in it, and we'll see if this thing will start. Alright, well I got my sissy shoes on right now, so we'll see if I can get a hole kicked through them. Alright, gas is on. 75 degrees in here. We'll try it without the choke. I'll squeeze the clutch. It should be in neutral. Yeah. Kill switch is off. Let me put up the really short little kickstand. Get some leanage into it here. Well, it's not dumping gas out everywhere yet. Let's give it some choke. See what happens. It feels like it's got plenty of compression. I'll give it a little snort of brake clean, see what happens. Whoops. Get in the carburetor. Alright, let's try this again. Probably need some keep it all idle. Holy buckets of idling. Sounds a little noisy on the top end, but not too bad. Oh. Got a hole in the exhaust. Now you can actually see crap in there blowing around. I hope that's not a mouse. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a carburetor or a exhaust. Better open up some air in the shop. It acts like it's quieted down quite a bit because the top of the air is noisy. She sounded pretty good. Not backfiring anymore. Probably just had a little bit of a stuck valve. Boy, that sounds good. Hey, the kill switch works. I guess. It could have died. I don't know. Getting kind of, it's actually not bad in here at all. I don't even think this thing's smoking. It's blowing a little black smoke, but let me hook up those lights. I'd like to see if that headlight works on it. I didn't even bother to see. I don't think that was working at all. That bulb is probably shot. Well, maybe not. Probably doesn't work because that's not hooked up. Let me hook those up and I want to see if those lights. Alright, got them wires hooked up. And I haven't started this in probably 20 minutes. I've got to do some other stuff after I got that. I'd take a phone call, but let's turn the gas back on. I don't know which way's on and off on this switch. Let's see what happens here and kill switch on. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Tired, right? Oh. Back there. Maybe it has something to do with it being cold. maybe it has something to do with it just being cold. Alright, sweet. Well, I think we're going to leave this as part 1. I'm hoping to get the oil filters in here soon. And got to work on that one over there. I have not touched that one at all. Other than I scrubbed the front fender a little bit like I did on this one. Anyways, I mean, I guess I could throw the shifter on it. We'll wait. We're going to leave this as part 1. We'll start working on that one. I got some parts coming for these, grips, stuff like that. I just want to get them mechanically running, which I think this one here is ready to go. I got to change the oil again. That's how I turned off. But anyways, I don't know if you heard anything I was just saying, but like I said, we'll make this part 1. We got a whole ton more work to do to it, but I ordered parts for it. Part 2, we're going to get this one running at least. I want to get that one at least as mechanically running as this one. And I mean, there shouldn't be really anything too much different on it other than it's got a starter. So I guess I got to get a battery for it. But or I don't actually need to get a battery, I could just use that. But that one there, we'll make part 2 on just getting it running. I'm going to get at least, well, I'm actually just going to go ahead and order 2 rear tires. I'm confident if this one ran, which this one seemed mechanically worse than that one. Of course, I didn't notice all that oil until the other day when I was filming. If this one runs, then there's no way that one shouldn't run at all. But anyways, I'm going to get 2 rear tires coming. The front tires hold air, or they haven't gone flat anyway since I've put air in them. And oil filter should be here anytime. I'm going to rechange the oil on this one again. Probably get a new spark plug. I got grips coming for it, and I got clutch levers coming. I did order some things without knowing if they ran, but you know, it's a BW. If you get online, well, at least up here in Montana, you can't even touch one of these for less than $2,000 for a piece of junk. So I figured worst case, I'd at least have parts to go with them if I had to sell them because they were a money pit. But I think they're going to run perfect. And that probably proves my point, is these have never been tinkered with. That guy probably parked them. Maybe he was going to adjust the valves on it or something. He was probably just low on oil and making some chattering noise, because they quit making that noise as far as I can tell. And I don't know, I think that sight glass on that one might be broken out, but I don't know that for sure. We'll leave that a mystery until we look at it. And then I guess I'm going to have to, I didn't even see that, I guess I'm going to have to clean that up and rivet a plate over this, put some copper gasket sealer on there to keep it from getting worse. I mean, that's just cheap metal. There's nothing much I can do for it except for put a patch on it. If I held my hat on it, it seemed to be fine. It was actually all coming out of the exhaust. Speaking of which, how's this one? Oh, this one doesn't actually have a hole in it. Oh, I take that back. Got some rust in it too. Got some water got down in the exhaust, so I don't know. This one here maybe doesn't have that much compression. And then the next time we work on this, we'll measure the compression on it. So we'll see what it actually has. But it feels pretty good, and it's not smoking at all, so I'm guessing it's got decent compression. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. So we'll do this part 1, and probably won't have part 2 out until the weekend. Ultra busy at work, and you know, same thing. Sorry that my videos aren't super detailed like some of the other guys, as somebody has mentioned to me in the comments, but I film this when I have time, and I film it to what I can do, and not get frustrated trying to film at the same time. So until we see you in the next video, thanks for watching.